So King Richard, this is the new Will Smith movie out. I'll say how I feel about it in a second, but it's clear that we're probably shooting for some Oscar noms here. It's directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, and I'll say how I feel about it in a second. So Will Smith plays Richard Williams. He's the father of Venus and Serena Williams, and so the movie just kind of shows all the different things that he was willing to do to make his daughters as successful as they end up becoming. So, he goes around with pamphlets. He's like bothering people, telling them about his daughters, making these videos and things like that. It's actually kind of touching, if not a little bit annoying. But you get to see them playing certain matches. You get to see Venus getting her first coach. It's just really a biopic of their journey and all that Richard did and planned for them to get there. So I like this movie. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really entertaining. Even the things that don't really work for me were still pretty unintentionally really funny. I'll talk about Will Smith a little bit more later, but I think his performance is, for the most part, pretty good. It's touching, the relationship between Richard and his kids. He's overly controlling, and we'll get back to that. But you do feel a certain inspiration, I guess, from all the things that they had to do to get there, and when you see them gaining certain success and winning matches and all that, it's really entertaining to see. It's enough to make you interested to see the real story, I think, because this is still very much a biopic. Venus and Serena, Sanaya Sidney and Demi Singleton, I thought they were great too, especially the one that plays Venus, because at a certain point it's not really about Serena, it's mostly about Venus and her success and her career. As far as issues, Will Smith, this accent, right? And I think it's pretty accurate from what I know, but yeah, it still kind of feels like a caricature. All right, oh, we gotta keep these kids off these streets, and it definitely didn't fully work.
Now, I understand you got to do your job, even if some crazy-ass neighbor do call talking foolishness. And I don't even mind you saying we hard on these kids. You know why? Because we are. That's our job, to keep them off these streets.
Richard is kind of an asshole, but it's a biopic that's kind of like a tribute to him, so he has to be seen as like this genius and this great father that's so supportive, which he is supportive, and he definitely does care about his kids. That's pretty evident. But he is such an asshole, right? He does something to his daughters pretty early on, and I'm like, that's definitely over the line. And the mom gets onto him, but it's not enough, I don't think. He's he's annoying and kind of in people's faces, but that's okay. I don't know. I feel like the movie didn't really address enough of him being this much of an asshole, because he also has other kids apparently that he just pretends like don't exist, I guess, from this movie. They're only mentioned once and then they just move on. Everything feels like it's always about Richard. Everything has to be his way. He's overly controlling. Venus has to go through John Barenthal's character just to even talk to him about her playing a match again after 3 years of training, nonstop training, and her just kind of, I guess, doing school and things like that. He does come off as like horrible in certain parts even, but it feels like it needs to be overly sanitized, because this is I mean, it's a biopic that's supposed to show him in the best light, right? So
let us make this a sure thing. You don't want to risk all that, do you, Richard?
there's some thugs that beat his ass earlier on, and it's almost like they're like, you don't play tennis in my hood. And it was like, come on, what are we doing here? They kick his ass twice, and he, like in the first 30 minutes or something like that. It's almost like he just gets his ass kicked all the time. Like the daughter comes in, and I think it was Venus, and she's like, Daddy got his ass kicked again, or whatever she said. Daddy got beat up again. And it's almost like he gets beat up just all the time, where he might as well set his watch, oh, I guess this ass whooping o'clock. Oh, that was ridiculous to me. And then I want to spoil this part so bad, but he was about to do something really bad, and luckily a random drive-by happened. I thought that was so ridiculous. Anyway, that's it. I think it's an inspirational story. I think it's very interesting, especially as somebody who didn't know the main story. I think Will Smith is that accent is laughable, but he's still pretty good in it. Oh, these kids, oh. We just wanted to know what you shared. It's something, but I still think it ultimately succeeded on what it was trying to do, and it definitely told the story in an entertaining and like kind of inspirational way. So I'm gonna give it a just awesome. I'm gonna give it my second to the highest rating. I think it was really good. I thought it was easily one of the best movies I've seen this year. That's not really saying much though. But anyway, that's King Richard, and I'm done.